Spartan Lock. I have spent enough years with Oni to know the truth. Once this is over, after all I have done, they'll order you to kill us both.
Fire Team Osiris. Over the last 72 hours, 5 colonies have experienced identical events. Massive destruction, Forerunner and Origin. And Dr. Catherine Elizabeth Halsey has managed to contact us. She claims to have information on these attacks.
Halsey is currently in Covenant custody on the surface of Kamchatka. Your mission is to insert behind enemy lines, retrieve Halsey, and bring her back to Infinity. Be advised, Dr. Halsey is accompanied by Covenant Supreme Leader Jul 'Mdama. If you have the opportunity...
Understood, Commander.
Good luck, Spartan Lock. Infinity out.
Tracking gear online.
Affirmative. Say, before we make this jump, anybody want to say a few words?
I figure if God can hear how scared I am, so can everyone else. Locke, you buying first drink when we're done?
You ask, you buy. Fire Team Osiris. The light is green. Check.
Comms working fine, Lab.
Copy that, Tanaka.
Spartan Buck, online and ready.
Spartan Vale online.
Weapons free.
Contact!
Cool. Bloody hell. Hello, genties and ladlemen. That was an energetic start to a game, I think. It was quite pretty, although it was just the cinematic trailer, mostly. If you've been paying attention to any of the pre-Halo stuff going on, you've most likely seen the majority of the beginning of what you just saw. Doesn't make it any less epic though. Music was good, looked good, had Spartans killing aliens, which is ultimately the cool thing. So to quickly explain what's going on, as I have just talked over everybody telling you what's going on, we're here to get Halsey back, as was kind of explained in the trailer / beginning of the game bit. We're here to get Halsey because basically some shit's going down, and she was like, yo, some shit's going down, and you're like, yo, okay, we'll come get you, yo, and here we are, getting Halsey. So yes, This is exciting. This is exciting. Halo 5. I've been looking forward to this game for some time, and I have many things to say about this game, good and bad. It is by far not a perfect game, because very few games are these days. Although, as you're watching this, Fallout 4 has been already released, so it's possible the perfect game has been released. I just haven't played it yet because I have no time to play it, so I can't buy it. So that's that. So yeah, the main differences between this Halo and the previous one, we'll go with the differences between this and 4, because if you don't know the differences between 4 and 3, then you're behind the times. And it was pretty much just that it became you could sprint, and it felt a little bit more Call of Duty-esque Halo, which is of course, like, I mean, just the whole theme of Halo is great. But anyway, so the major differences in this one is the Smart Link, which you can see going on right now. I've done it a couple times until this point. It's the ability to scope down your weapon, which previous Halos did not give you. You could scope down a weapon to zoom in, but it wasn't sort of scoping like that. It didn't make sense like this one does. It wasn't like looking down your weapon. Only a couple of weapons allowed you to be scoped in and actually continue to shoot. I think basically it was the DMR, really. That was basically it. DMR and sniper rifles. Although sniper rifles we've always been able to do it, and the battle rifle, obviously, stuff like that. And the pistol in some games. Some of the Halo games you have been able to zoom in with the pistol, some of them you have not. You can in this one, which is great because the pistol is amazing. Although one of the criticisms I have of this game is that human weaponry is very sparse. So my favourite weapon being the DMR, I actually only got the opportunity to use it once on my first playthrough of the game, so we'll see how this one goes. Here's a good example of another change, is that obviously you've got the whole co-op feel thing with the 3 AI characters on your team. So when you get shot, you go down and then they can revive you, which is a much more pleasant way than going, oh no, I took slightly too many bullets, let's restart from the latest checkpoint, which obviously when you were playing with friends you never had to put up with, because your friends would just continue playing and then you'd respawn on. So it was only a problem if everyone you were playing with died. So obviously with this one you kind of get the online feel playing with your friends, but locally. Obviously if somebody blows you up with a grenade and you're incinerated, your teammates can't bring you back from that. But you do, if you're playing co-op, I think you respawn. Well, I say I think. If you don't respawn, then the game is silly. But I actually haven't had an opportunity to play co-op yet. So I mean, hopefully, I'm hoping I might be able to get some people together to do some co-op before the end of this walkthrough. So some of this this particular Let's Play might be co-opted. So up here, there's this thing that you scan. This is how Locke likes to open doors. He does everything by waving his right hand at his left arm, and then a screen comes up and it scans, which I felt was a little bit of a cop-out for the majority of cases where it's like, oh, here's a thing I need to do. Reach area, hold X. It felt a little bit lazy, but it's also true that when you play as Master Chief, who does not have said technology, that my complaint is similar in that he just kind of seems to randomly mash at buttons. He doesn't seem to have any kind of aim when it comes to pressing buttons. I mean, I get it. He has big fingers. He's a big guy, but I mean, you could be a little bit more dainty. You'll see when we get to that. When we get to that point.
How'd you learn to speak Sangheili, Vale? When I was a kid, I was stuck on a diplomatic shuttle that drifted through space for 6 months. My options would be real good or spend time getting smart.
Our destination is on the other side of this battle.
Now, if you were listening to that, that was a
Watch out for the Kraken.
that was an example of some exposition right there. The exposition in Team Osiris is one of my complaints, is that this team is not set up at the very beginning as a team that is obviously not worked together before. So it's not a case of, oh, this team has just been put together and you are now playing as them, and they know each other by name basis, but nothing more than that. but it's also not set up as... Basically, it's not explained. It's not explained whether this team seems to know each other or not. Cases of exposition, I get it. They have to put exposition in so that you feel like you're connected to the character so they can tell you stuff. Because if they don't tell you stuff, then you're just playing with a whole bunch of monotonous sort of AI characters who just shoot stuff for you and tell you the enemies they've killed, which is no fun. Like, you wanna have characters that you can kind of identify with, which helps if they're telling you stuff. But it just would have been nice. I wouldn't have minded if this had been set up as this is a brand new team and they've been on like one mission before or whatever. And you're sort of, this is the beginning of Osiris's story. Team Osiris is the team's name. I can't remember if I mentioned that. But it's not set up as that. It seems to. It's just kind of vague. It's just kind of vague. Which isn't necessarily a problem. I wanted a bit more backstory into this team that you play as. Other opinions on the story I will not divulge at this point. I will explain closer to the as various story elements become clear, and I might actually do like a proper review once this Let's Play is out, so that people can watch it. I might do it beforehand, but I do actually have to film the actual the Let's Play so I can have some footage for the review. So I'll probably just do Let's Play and then a review. So another example of exposition is when they're in the ship at the beginning, and Buck's like, "Locke, you buying drinks?" and Locke's like, "If you got to ask, you buy," or I can't remember the exact phrasing he uses. But the main thing that I kind of think is, if this is supposed to be a team that's set up, Buck ought to have known that. He ought to have known that this is how Locke rolls. He's like, if you ask, you buy. This wouldn't be the first time Buck was like, "Hey, you buy drinks." So, which is what leads me to believe that this is a relatively new team. But again, I have to admit, you don't get a huge amount of backstory in terms of Osiris's backstory, their story. Like, I know it's a bit of a spoiler, but you don't. Which is one of my. It's true though that Halo isn't winning any storytelling awards, probably ever. It's not like Halo's like sort of breaking through barriers in terms of what people expect from storytelling in games. Also, don't shoot at this guy. The first time I played this game, I was shooting at this guy, and obviously because he was being damaged and stuff, I thought I was killing him, but it wasn't. It was somebody else shooting him and doing damage. So that was kind of sad to find out. For those of you who had not noticed, because I mean, to be honest, if you hadn't noticed this, then shame on you, because you ought to know who Nathan Fillion is. But Nathan Fillion is the guy who plays Buck. Buck is one of the characters from Halo ODST. He was an ODST, and some point between then and now, he has become a Spartan, which once again winds me up, because you get some exposition about other characters being locked on ships, and that's how they know how to speak languages. But again, not so much about Buck, and that was kind of what I wanted to know. That was one of my things that I wanted to hear about. I also apparently found a glitch in the game where music still thinks there are enemies.
All right, danger is clear.
Oh no, maybe it's not. But yeah. So, well, enjoy this cutscene. It's not a long one. It's a cutscene, but I'm not going to talk over it. So enjoy.
What is the problem?
There are several. Would you like to discuss the finer points of casual reconciliation?
More human sarcasm.
So you have learned something from me,
You
Jude.
claim to be able to access.
And I can. However, I did not claim to be able to access it instantaneously.
No time to dither. You will also afford me respect befitting of the Didact's hand.
Seems your fingers are in open rebellion, Han.
Enough!
Yeah, good looking.
Eyes on target. This location does not serve my needs. When she makes another transmission, I must
I'm
triangulate.
tired of this, Doctor. You have been chasing shadows for weeks to no avail. Dr. Halsey, Captain Lasky would like a word with you.
It took you long enough.
Fire Team Osiris, you are cleared to land in Docking Bay 11.
Captain Lasky, I sent you my position 3 weeks ago. I told you this was happening.
We'll discuss that in private, Doctor. Palmer.
What has she done? How far has it already gone?
Good work, Osiris. What do you think that's about?
I haven't seen Chief press himself like this since we were in boot camp.
He's fine, Fred.
And this many missions non-stop isn't fun.
Sierra 117 to Infinity. Blue team has located Argent Moon. Signs of hostile activity, but she's still here.
Copy that, 117. Eliminate all hostiles. Secure Argent Moon. You may deploy when ready.
Affirmative, Infinity. 117 out.
Here you go.
Thanks, Kelly. Everyone ready?
Affirmative.
You good?
Blue team, fall out.
The Envoy are resisting. Throw the Envoy out the airlock.
Well then, Master Chief is a badass, and if you click next episode, you'll be able to see more of Master Chief. And I'll see you then.
What do we know about Argent Moon?
Coney Research Station.